went ahead and I reread Ultimate X-Men. The trades that are out as of recording is just trade 1 and 2, which covers issues 1 through 12. I probably read up through 14. I am really obsessed with this book. It's glorious. Peach Momoko at just doing peak work. She is rewriting the X-Men for the Ultimate Universe, and they really gave her free reign to do everything. I remember before the book even came out, God, we were so hyped because it was like, holy shit, Peach Momoko gets to do like a flagship mainline X-Men series all on her own, because so often like she is a cover artist, or she's kind of featured in an anthology project, or she's kind of making something different kind of over here. But here, like,
you must have read Demon Days, though, right?
I did read Demon Days. Demon Days also felt like, I don't know, it wasn't like a flagship mainline.
Yeah, it was like a little, like, here's a little treat.
Yeah, it's like, check out this thing I'm doing over here. And it's glorious, and you should read it. I have the Treasury edition at home, because the bigger the print, the closer to God. I can't recommend Peach Momoko's work enough. And it's really weird because sometimes people come in and they're like, I can't stand these Peach Momoko covers. Like, she's always up every week, and like, it's really strange. People either love her to death or cannot stand her.
Yeah. I'm gonna go on a limb and say people who hate Peach Momoko are the kind of people that are like... They're just the kind of people that are like, oh my god, Todd McFarlane, like.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're like a staunch Peach Momoko hater, I think you probably don't read anything other than like pretty mainstream, mainline Big Two stuff. I mean, I think even if you read like broader image stuff that's like not Spawn, like, you probably come across art that would like make you able to enjoy Peach Momoko.
You're definitely not reading manga,
and you're definitely
going sure.
And you're definitely going to hell.
All that to say, Ultimate X-Men is really the Peach Momoko experience. She takes New Mutant and fan favorite Armor, who has the power to create sort of like a soldier-like armor around herself that is deeply tied to her ancestors. Also named Hisako. In this book, she's a young Japanese girl in middle school. It's set after the events of Ultimate Invasion, and we just get to see recreations of like all these different X-Men characters. Like there's like kind of like a Cyclops character in there, who is like missing an eye, and there's the Shadow King is kind of like our main villain as well.
Yeah.
At the end of every single issue, she lays out what all the different like Japanese characters were saying. I mean, like the written kanji characters are saying. Points out like a bunch of different like deep like lore and like ancestry type things of that she's like referencing throughout the book. But yeah, you're dealing with like domestic abuse, you're dealing with suicide, you're dealing with like literally there's a character who like her powers come to life and she kills her mother.
Who among us?
Throughout the book, you're like, actually, like, this is the prettiest, most watercoloringest, stunning book I've ever read, and I am horrified. And the characters are so strong and like connected. It's
the mystery is really compelling too. Mm-hmm. Like reading I think I've only read the first trade, but like reading the first trade, I was like, oh, like I'm very gripped by the mystery that's unraveling here. Yeah, which is rarely true of a Capes comic.
Yeah, I remember feeling the same way about that, because the first volume is all I've read too. I want to like deep dive this and Ultimate Spider-Man.
Good.
It's it's fucking great. It's so good.
If you don't like Peach Momoko, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, we can't be friends. I will see you in hell next to Henry Kissinger. I'm sure you'll be best friends.
We have the first two trades aplenty here at the Escapist, and these are must-haves on your bookshelf.
They're worth getting in trade format.
I have a bunch of the single issues though.
I do too. Yeah, this is the only reason that I would say like don't get the. They're worth buying as issues too if you like the sort of experience of like reading floppies, but we don't have the full run in issues because it sells like hotcakes because it's really good.
Yeah.
This is the one I'm most sad is ending.
Yeah,
without doubt.
It's really strange to consider it being a part of like the end game of the Ultimate Universe right now. Like it's such its own little pocket dimension. I don't know how even artistically it's gonna be like adopted into crossovers.
I kind of hope that it takes the smallest role in it. I mean, it's literally like the characters are literally like middle schoolers in Japan, whereas none of the other Ultimates characters are fucking 13 or like it's just it's very much not if you're reading Ultimates or whatever and you're like, oh, I love Dennis Camp's Ultimates right now, like you're not gonna get the same treatment from Ultimate X-Men. You're gonna get something really different, but I think equally incredible.
Could we talk about that distinction for a second with like the Ultimate line
and
the Absolute line? That like there's kind of two types of like Absolute and Ultimate book, where like both lines, where there's like the type of book that is like in conversation with its own legacy. Like Ultimate Spider-Man is that way. We'll talk more about that later. Like what if, you know, an older Peter Parker, like he like had a family and he was like happy and then he became Spider-Man in his 40s. Same with like I think Absolute Wonder Woman is also kind of that way. I think the Ultimates, like what if instead of being a bunch of like fucking fascists they were like revolutionaries. Like there's those ones in conversations with their legacy, and then there's books that are very like doing something completely radically new with the material, like Ultimate X-Men,
Absolute Martian is I think the other sort of obvious example. I guess from here I'll talk about Ultimate Spider-Man really quick because issue 22 of Ultimate Spider-Man came out today, October 22nd, Wednesday, new comic book day. Ultimate Spider-Man, I think, is probably my favorite Ultimate line. I part of it is just because I think Spider-Man's probably my favorite hero. I don't know. You give me a Spider-Man comic, I'm probably going to enjoy it. Although some of the stuff that recently came out, some of the run on ASM, just god awful. Some of the worst Spider-Man writing I've ever read. I read it and then I was like, I'm gonna read all of Dan Slott's run because it'll make me happy and not want to kill myself.
Was it the Zeb Wells shit you were reading?
Yes, where he thank you, it was Zeb Wells, where he becomes possessed by the sins of Norman Osborn.
I forgot about that.
It's just like it's so convoluted. It's somehow worse than a lot of the Clone Saga stuff. Ben Reilly plays a huge part. Don't read that if you're looking to get into Spider-Man. Read Dan Slott's run, just front to back, or read the Brian Michael Bendis Ultimate Spider-Man front to back, and then go read Miles Morales. That's like, if you want to get into Spider-Man, those are my recommendations. But this current run of Ultimate Spider-Man, when I started reading it, literally like the same day I started reading it, I had just had a conversation, I think, with Corinne about how Batman is never allowed to be happy. He's like never allowed to date someone and be happy. He's never allowed to marry someone and be happy, whether that's Catwoman or some other random person. He's never allowed to start a family because DC's like worried that would be too much of a big swing, and they like want Batman to always be like accessible to anyone who picks it up off the shelf. So Bruce Wayne just like always remains Batman. And he's like single and miserable and repressed. And Spider-Man, Peter Parker, like I think a lot of those same criticisms can be leveled at the Marvel team, with sort of like One More Day, and One More Day is basically like a briefly Spider-Man was allowed to fall in love and marry and start to begin a family and be happy with Mary Jane, and then Marvel editorial said, no, you can't do that. We can't have a character arc, we can't have character development. And so their brilliant idea was to make him forget that all of that happened, and make everyone forget he was Spider-Man, and This was like probably the most divisive thing that's ever happened in Spider-Man comics, and it's pretty indicative of the way that they've treated Peter Parker as a character, and most of their characters, I think, generally.
Yeah.
Except the X-Men, because I think the X-Men have like their own sort of like character development thing going, where like they need to have some semblance of relationships in order to be compelling as a book, because it's a group comic.
Same with Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Fantastic Four too. Yeah.
That's why those are the best books that Marvel has usually.
Yeah, but I was having this conversation, and I picked up Ultimate Spider-Man, like the first trade or whatever, and read through it, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm blown away, because this is exactly what I was complaining that the Capes comics don't do. And the basic premise of Ultimate Spider-Man is basically like Peter Parker, somebody mentioned it earlier, Peter Parker's like 40 or something, and he has a family. He has 2 children with Mary Jane. And they're happy, they're married. He's like working at the Daily Bugle. Uncle Ben is still alive. And he has like kind of like this beautiful life. And then through the actions of sort of Tony Stark trying to like get heroes back into the Ultimate Universe, he becomes Spider-Man. He gets his spider powers as like a 40-year-old father of 2, happily married. And then we get to see like how that plays out, and like really what it does is just it raises the stakes to an astronomical level, because he's not just 21-year-old schmuck Peter Parker fighting the lizard on the street or whatever. It's like he has a family. People keep figuring out that he's Spider-Man, because he has like real emotional connections with people instead of just being like some guy living in an apartment in Brooklyn. So his family finds out. Like various villains find out a lot quicker, and it's a lot more compelling. And they do tweak a lot of characters pretty significantly. It's the best treatment of Venom I've ever seen. I hate Venom. They basically just like made Venom not a thing, which is wonderful. I really liked where they went with Mysterio.
That's so cool.
But issue 21 is where I think the latest trade of Ultimate Spider-Man ends, which I think is it volume 2?
Volume 3.
Volume 3, thank you. So issue 21, which is the last issue before this week's issue, is where volume 3 ends, and it ends on this like huge cliffhanger. Really well written cliffhanger from Johnathan Hickman, and issue 22 picks off from that. And I think they're doing a really good job. I'm really bummed it's ending, just because like I just think there's so much more you could do with the character. And I would love to see it as like a sort of sandbox for people to write new Spider-Man villains too.
Yeah.
Because we've seen a real dearth of Spider-Man villains. I mean, Tombstone is like the mainline Spider-Man villain of the last few arcs, other than Green Goblin, which is just like, I didn't ask for that. Like, back off with the Tombstone. Like, at least give me like the Lizard or Sandman or something. But yeah, that's Ultimate Spider-Man. Issue 22 is so good. If you're looking for something like more sort of grounded for Spider-Man right now, J. Michael Straczynski's Spider-Man, I think it's Amazing Spider-Man Torn. It's part of the ASM line. It's like a limited series, so like it's very accessible. But that's really fun too. It's like Spider-Man and his pals, and there's like an evil book MacGuffin that like turns the bad guys are looking for. And it's like just like really basic fun, not particularly exceptional Spider-Man, but if you're looking for just like, I just want to read an ASM comic and I want it to like end in 6 issues, I don't need no clone saga. J. Michael Straczynski, Amazing Spider-Man Torn, good choice. Issue 1 came out last week, so come in, pick it up. Yeah. I think that kind of wraps up our Ultimate Universe news and discussion. I guess the last thing too is it does seem like some of the series had endings planned. So I think Black Panther was always planned to end on like one of the upcoming issues, and Wolverine was planned to end actually like way earlier than all of them on issue 12, and they extended to 16, which I don't really get because like I don't think anyone's really enjoying it.
No.
That's kind of like the most lackluster thing coming out right now.
It like had potential for like half a sec. I mean, let me rephrase that. The the premise didn't have potential, but there was like potential in the like. There's a couple moments here and there where it's like, oh, there's like almost a horror vibe to this that's not great, but it's at least something, and even that's kind of fallen, and I'm just kind of like, well, there's nothing.
One of our subscribers pitched before we get into Absolute, because I think that's what we're gonna talk about in a second. One of our subscribers pitched, what if Wolverine was actually Japanese instead of just like a weeaboo?
Yeah.
Which I think would have offered like a really fun Ultimate X-Men Wolverine crossover where like Wolverine is like a mutant with powers who's like a lot older than these like kids in Japan. He's like actually Japanese instead of like a samurai wannabe. Which is like something I would have kind of enjoyed seeing.
Yeah.
But it's never gonna happen.
Yeah. Or inversely, your pitch of like, what if he was like actually fucking 12 and like he was like
I want to see like a 12-year-old, because all 12-year-olds think they're immortal.
Yeah.
Like I want to see what happens if a 12-year-old actually realizes they're invulnerable.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck happens there? And it's probably something kind of horrifying, at least to start with, but at least interesting.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, yeah, so like Ultimate Universe wrapping up in February of next year. Sad to see it go, happy to see it go, mixed feelings, but we don't have any power over it. So just gonna accept things I can't change. Moving on from the Ultimates to DC's counterpart, the Absolute Universe. What do we have from DC's Absolute Universe?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Absolute Wonder Woman this week while we wait for Martian to come back. And if it wasn't for Martian, which I think is like literally the best book on the shelf right now, if we're talking monthlies, like if Absolute Martian didn't exist, Absolute Wonder Woman would be the best. And it's also not even close. Like I like a lot of the other Absolute books. Like I think Absolute Green Lantern's really good. Absolute Batman I go back and forth on, but I largely really like it. Flash is fun, I guess. We don't talk about Superman anymore. It started strong and it's kind of just whiffed it, but Absolute Wonder Woman, fantastic, wonderful book. And if we're talking about like where does Absolute Wonder Woman kind of fall in the dichotomy, it absolutely falls into the kind of like more in conversation with its legacy, more just a good Wonder Woman comic.
It's not a rewrite, it's like a reinterpretation.
Yeah. It's like, it's not particularly radical in the things that it's trying to do with Wonder Woman as a character. It's just really well fucking written and really well drawn. What Diana as a character is just exceptionally compelling.
Yeah, who's on the team for Absolute Wonder Woman?
It is Kelly Thompson, and usually Hayden Sherman is usually leading the charge on art. If you're not familiar with Hayden Sherman, they are somehow doing like a billion different little Kate books, but somehow like doing like pretty good, pretty interesting art on all of them. Yeah, but every 2 issues, the Wonder Woman team transitions to a different artist to do kind of like an intermediary arc. And so for the first time, that first arc that was, I forget his name, it's fine. It's good for what it is, but it's not Hayden Sherman. I forget that guy's name. This next arc, though, we're getting Matthias Bergara, who, if you're familiar with Coda with Simon Spurrier, Step by Bloody Step, also with Simon Spurrier. Matthias Bergara's also done like a few... He did some Hellblazer work, also with Spurrier. He's done a lot of work with Spurrier. Those two, they got a little steamy thing going.
They got something going on there.
Got a little collaboration, which is what we're calling gay romance these days.
I love Bergera's artwork. Like, really, really bring me through so much of that. It's really what I loved about Coda the most.
Yeah, like Spurrier's a good writer, but Bergara's like the thing. Like any book that Bergara is on is just jaw-droppingly fucking good. Like, it's stunning. Like, there's a reason Step by Bloody Step is a wordless comic that Simon Spurrier did with Bergara, because Spurrier was smart enough to realize that Bergara is just a fucking master at what he does.
I forgot about that book.
That book is like... It is crazy how much story is in a book with no dialogue. Like, how much, like, world and politics and, like, character is communicated without a single fucking word. Because Bergara is just that good at what he does. And he was announced to be the fill-in artist for Absolute Wonder Woman. Which issue was this? 13 and 14. And it's hard to get me to be like, oh, I'm so excited Hayden Sherman's being replaced for a few issues. Bergara goes fucking crazy. Like, if there was anybody that I wanted to see do Wonder Woman, Matthias Bergara is that guy. Like, he just has such a solid grasp of, like, fantasy storytelling. The, like, texture of his work really feels like kind of not a lot of artists on the stands that I can really compare it to. He knows how to draw just, like, buff women with giant swords and, like, just gorgeous, lush, magical worlds. what else do I want out of a Wonder Woman comic? Like, visually speaking. Like, and part of what's so compelling about Absolute Wonder Woman is that she's kind of some of the most yoked she's ever been. She has a Guts Berserk sword, but she's also, like, very committed fundamentally to, like, peace. Like, she doesn't want to fight. That's, like, kind of her last answer. And something that's really compelling about this issue particularly is this, like, energy force is just, like, fucking up a bunch of places across the globe and causing catastrophic damage. And she keeps trying to just, like, talk to it. She's, like, trying to find different ways to communicate with it. And she feels herself compelled to violence by this thing. And she, like, lets it go multiple times because she feels herself slipping into violent patterns that she doesn't want to be in.
It's very much sort of a... I don't know how you call it, feminist. It's very much, although I think that argument can definitely be made, and sort of pretty easily. But it's like a female sort of antithesis to, like, just the violent revelry of Absolute Batman, where Scott Snyder's just, like, punching stuff, cutting stuff, hell yeah.
Knuckle dusters made of my own teeth.
Yeah, which is
cool.
Absolute Batman is very fun, but it's got a little less, maybe sort of, pacifist critique going on.
And I think the feminist point's really interesting, because, like, it's a feminist book in a way that's, like, not... Because, like, let's talk about, like, mainline Wonder Woman for a second, which I have stopped reading because, like, Tom King is, like, fine, I guess. He's, like, a liberal wife guy who's done war crimes. Like, I don't really want to know his hot take about feminism. But it's, like, he's like, okay at writing women characters. Actually, like, Helen of Windhorn is great. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, fantastic also. But his, like, Wonder Woman book is, like, very kind of explicitly about, like the patriarchy as, like, as an actual, like, there's, like, a guy. There's like a series of guys who are the patriarchy.
There's, like, patriarchy man.
There's literally the patriarchy men. Yeah, there's, like, a whole arc with, like, incels, and I'm like, Tom King, I don't give a fuck about your take. Yeah. Like, I'm sure it's, like, not, you know, the worst. Like, it could be worse given comics, but, like, it's like reflexively feminist in that way that's, like, not actually that feminist, and it's just kind of like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Whereas, like,
by men.
It's written by men, whereas, like, this book is, like, written by a woman and, like, drawn by a non-binary person, like, and it just has gay women in it. It just has, like, interesting women characters doing...
It's got, like, a really beautiful mother-daughter relationship, too. Yeah. In, like, a way that's does not feel cheap.
No.
Whatsoever. It's, like, incredibly complex.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel satisfied with itself.
Not
like it,
always
like,
sweet, you know, I mean, it's, yeah.
Like, complex relationships between women. Like, gay and straight, mother-daughter, etc., like... In a way that, like, again, Tom King's Wonder Woman is, like, so reflexively, like, wants to be feminist that I can't fucking care. Whereas, like, this book, I'm like, yeah, this is a book full of, like, a bunch of really cool, really interesting women who have very interesting and unique perspectives on the world and each other and their own relationships. And that's fundamentally more feminist to me than, like, Wonder Woman fights some incels. Which is fine. It's not bad, I guess, but anyway, sorry, not to make it about Tom King, like, no, to make it about Kelly Thompson.
Yeah,
and
Tom King is writing the other Wonder Woman.
He's writing the other Wonder Woman. Yeah, to make this about Kelly
line.
Thompson and Matthias Bergara. Matthias Bergara is just a wonderful artist. I just love looking at every goddamn little panel he does.
Oh, every strand of hair, just like I literally love every panel.
I like that she's not sort of, I mean, she's obviously like, she's like gorgeous in the book, but she's got like a jaw on her. She's like objectively like muscly and shit. She's not this kind of like weird, sleek Barbie doll, Wonder Woman. You know, like she looks like she could kick my ass.
Yeah,
she's a little bricky.
Yeah, she's a little clocky with it.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of notable in the art. If you had to give us one title that's on our new issues shelf right now that you think someone should pick up, what would you give us?
As for 70.
I'll give 2 then. Absolute Martian Manhunter. Like, we'll definitely talk more about that at a later date. And then I think Rom V's New Gods fucking whips. It's
Awesome.
so good.
We'll also talk about that at a later date for sure. My pick would be Ryan North's Fantastic Four. Issue 4 just came out this week. Excellent. Very sci-fi. They give the Human Torch this big bushy mustache.
I love his mustache.
I
great.
choose Jeff the Land Shark.
Hell yeah. Jeff the Land Shark.
Jeff the Land Shark number 5 just dropped. It's the end of the arc. I don't think we're getting past that. I don't think they're giving Jeff the Land Shark much past issue 5. But it does wrap up.
Nice.
And it includes lots of Jeff, so.
Alright, sing us out.
Oh my god. I have so many responsibilities on this podcast. That's the end of the podcast. We said what we said. I want to take a bullet that is made out of lead.
And put it in your head.
And put it in my head.
I tuck myself into bed.
That's all she said.
But-um-bum.